Our next guest is getting ready for his first full season as BYU's head baseball coach. Trent Pratt was put in charge in the middle of last season when Mike Littlewood abruptly resigned. In his 25 games as the interim head coach, the Cougars went 16-9, reached the conference tournament, and a short time later, Pratt won the full-time position. It's our pleasure to welcome BYU's head baseball coach, Trent Pratt, to the Wise Guys. Coach, we mentioned earlier, when you're the head baseball coach, there is no off season. Is that a correct statement?
That's definitely a correct statement. Yeah, it's been a pretty busy summer and fall. So, yeah, I think I finally have my head above water. I'm not drowning anymore, so I feel like I'm doing all right.
Now, I'd ask you if you had been enjoying some time off, but every time you drive past the baseball stadium, there's the crack of the bat and the sound of the balls being driven into the outfield. And, is there really any time off now but for your guys with postseason workouts and winter workouts, and then you're in action in January?
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much time off. They get a little break, over the Christmas holiday. Hope they go home, but they need to stay in shape because once they get back, it's kind of all systems go. So they get a little time to relax during that time. We try to give them a couple of days off here and there, but man, we're out there working hard and preparing for the season and trying to get after it a little bit.
The stadium that you have has some I'm going to say modern heating systems and things like that, so you can play in when it's a little bit colder weather and melt off some snow and things like that. But this isn't a warm weather environment. It's not like you're down in Tempe, Arizona, right? So how do you keep these guys engaged and working out during the off season in the winter when the weather gets bad in Provo?
We know we're going to play in it sometime. So as long as there's not snow on the ground, it's 40 degrees, we're going to go outside because there's a good chance we're going to play in that sometime during the spring, whether it's at our place or Portland or Gonzaga or anywhere else. So it's just a matter of, hey, we know what it is and we're not afraid of it. And hopefully we can use that to our advantage when teams come to our place that aren't used to that cold weather, that we're a couple steps ahead of them.
4 key players are gone from last year, all taken in the first 20 rounds of the Major League Draft, which tied a program record. You got pitchers Nate Dahle, Nielson, Cooper McKeehan, and utility infielder Andrew Pintar. So that's a kind of a, dang, you lost those guys, but as you go recruiting, you can say, hey, we lost those guys to the Major League Draft.
Yeah, it's a good thing for us. We want every kid to come here, and I think every kid that comes, their dreams of playing professional baseball and playing the big leagues, and our job is to help them achieve that. So definitely it hurts losing those guys, but I think also helps to say, like, hey, look what BYU is doing. They're developing players and getting them better and giving them a chance to go on and play professional baseball and live their dreams. And so, yeah, we like the guys we have coming in, and those guys are gonna be hard to replace, but we feel like we reloaded and can come and do the same thing on the mound like we did last year.
You were drafted in the 12th round by Philadelphia as a catcher coming out of Auburn. Describe the thrill of getting that phone call on draft day.
Man, it's awesome. It's what you always dream about. I remember I was just finished my season at Auburn. I was actually driving home. I was on my way back to Twilla, Utah, and got a phone call from a number I didn't recognize back on the old flip phones, and pulled over the side of the road. And scout said, hey, we just picked you in the 12th round. And it was like, okay. He goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm actually driving home. He's like, well, how quick can you get home? How quick can you get on a plane and get to Clearwater, Florida? So I think I made it, drove about 16 hours and got home. And a couple of days later, I got in a flight, went to Clearwater, Florida to play.
Wow. Hey, Michael Rucker pitches for the Cubs. He needs some support out there. He's the only BYU guy on a 40-man roster at the moment, and he's having a great season. I know you just sent 4 guys out to give him some support with the draft, but how about Rucker and what he's doing? He's still a few years away from arbitration. The Cubs own him for the next 5 years, but he is pitching great this year.
No, he's awesome. It's fun to watch, and you knew that when Mike was here. His last year he was our ace, and man, we knew if we gave Mike Rucker a lead, he was going to hold it. And that. You think the teams he beat, Corbin Burns was in our league that year, Mitchell White, and we had a bunch of like big time arms in our league that year. Gonzaga had a guy last name of Bailey. I think Rucker beat all of them.
Yeah.
I think he might have had one. I think he got a no decision against Burns. He left with a lead and we ended up losing late. But that was probably one of the best pitching leagues that I remember being our league in, and Rucker was at the top of it.
Speaking of pitching, you retain most of your staff. Brent Herring, Tuckett Slade, I see those guys working out all the time. We work out together.
We're just glad they're working out.
The only thing I'm always worried about is, like, like I rotated around. I'm doing chest, shoulders, and tries. It just seems like those two are always just doing biceps. So I don't quite understand that. But
I think Tucker loves the bench press.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you see him doing chest.
Oh
he doesn't miss chest day for sure.
I'm teasing those guys, and they're always great. We always catch up. You got Noah Hill back. You added pitching coach Abe Alvarez from the University of Nevada. What impact will Alvarez have on pitching this next year for the Cougs?
I think it's have a big impact for us. I mean, Abe, he achieved what all of us wish we could have and what all our players are aspiring to. He's a two-time All-American. He got the bigs with the Red Sox. But more importantly, Abe and his wife, Nana, they're great people. And as I kind of looking for a pitching coach, I started asking around, and I called all the coaches I knew, and they kept throwing his name out to me. And no one anything had bad to say about him. And when I met him, it's like, hey, he's a real guy. He's super disciplined, organized. He's going to push guys to get better. And he knows what it takes. And so I think our pitching staff, as a staff, we're really lucky to have him. Not only that, he can really recruit. He kind of led Nevada's recruiting efforts, and they did a great job there. I think he can open some doors recruiting-wise that maybe we haven't had in the past.
BYU baseball coach Trent Pratt is on the Wise Guys tonight. Now, Coach, during the season when you became the interim head coach, you wouldn't go into the head coach's office very often. You certainly didn't move stuff in there. And I'd ask you, like, hey, this is your office. Why are we out here talking about this? Tell me you've moved in and you've settled in and the place is all yours.
Yeah, it's a little different. I spent, 10 years in that other office.
Yeah.
I think my little boys, Tug and Blake, were more excited about moving in the big office than I was. I kind of like being around other people. I don't like being alone. So I still go hang out in that office probably more. I'm in this office, but I mean, it's good. There's a lot of things for me to learn as a head coach. And so, man, I'm learning as fast as I can. And man, I'm just excited to get back on the field. We started practice last week. And I mean, that's what I love the most. I love being at practice. I love coaching. I love being around the guys. And so that's helped is being back out there. And, and I know, man, we're going to make a run at this. I'm just glad I'm surrounded by great people. I have a great administration that believes in us and gives us what we need. And I'm surrounded by a great coaching staff, and we have great players. And so, that I think that makes your job easy as a first-year head coach, knowing that you have all those things in place already.
Yeah.
That's great setup. Hey, the program's won league titles 2016, 2017, 2019, reached the NCAA tournament in 2019. Now you're one season away from joining the Big 12. What are the offseason priorities for you and your staff to get ready to make that jump into the Big 12?
Well, the first thing is go win the West Coast this year. We're going to take it one day at a time and worry about the Big 12 when we get there. But I know the recruiting efforts are, knowing what we need to get going into the next year. We have a list. Hey, what are our needs? What do we need? We've played Big 12 teams. We've played those teams at the top of the conference and see what they look like and how they operate and what steps do we need to do to get there. I think like every sport, we probably need a little more depth. If someone goes down, we better have someone that can come behind them and be ready, and some more, some bigger, stronger guys possibly. But I think we're on the right track. I like the guys we're recruiting now, the guys we have committed coming in. I think we can go in there and compete and do a good job.
This is the time of year that you start putting your schedule together for this last run as a member of the WCC. Who are you looking at? You got any fun teams coming in? A lot of guys don't like to come play in Provo because the weather doesn't guarantee them that they'll play 3 games or 4 games. And
yeah.
I know you had a series move to Texas with Oklahoma State because you just couldn't trust the weather that week. So working around that, what do you got coming?
Man, our one off season, non-conference, we have Omaha coming in because we went there a couple years ago and they owe us a return trip. But we're going to start our season at Louisiana Tech. That was a regional team. Then we're going to stay in Louisiana and play Louisiana Lafayette right after that, which is another regional team. So I think it'll be fun for our kids to play down there. And they get good crowds. Those people in Louisiana, they love their sports and love their baseball. So it'll be a great experience for our guys to play down there. And then we go to Creighton, we'll get a chance to play in, the College World Series Park and
that'd be cool
and experience that a little bit. So hopefully that's not the last time we play there.
That's right. That's right. And then you've played some Big 12 schools, it seems, a little more frequently. Any of those yet, or are we going to have to wait for another year for all of them?
Not this year. Yeah, we don't have anyone from the Big 12 on our schedule this year, so we'll have to wait for that. And that now they have to come to our place. We can't relocate it and go play somewhere else. It'll be conference play. So, but I'm excited for our fans and for us to to see those teams you'll finally have a chance to come to Provo, and I think that's exciting. You think, in all our sports, it's going to be, man, an exciting time to, have those teams come in on, every other weekend, wherever it is, and I've had to see some real good teams and us battle against them.
When people talk to us about the Big 12, the first thing they always say is, man, that's a crazy basketball conference. Is that the best basketball conference in America? And we easily say, absolutely it is, right?
Yeah.
So for people that don't know, how good is the Big 12 in baseball? How good a conference is this that you're joining?
Man, it's really good. You think you got Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, Baylor. I mean, those teams have been, to the College World Series, and been knocking on the door. So it's going to be competitive every weekend. And the teams coming in are good teams. So you kind of look through that, and it's going to be a battle every weekend. There's not many weekends off. And for people that follow college baseball, man, it's a top 2 or 3 RPI league every year. And so, man, it's a big challenge for us, but man, what a great opportunity as well.
You and your wife have 6 kids, with Tug being the youngest. I met Tug, had a few baseball conversations with him. How's he made the transition of Dad going from the coach out there at third base to the head coach in the big office?
Well, he thinks he's pretty cool. He can walk in, they drink way too much soda. They go to that back fridge. They kind of think this place is theirs. But we want it that way. I want all our kids in here, our coaches, and man, we miss a lot of their lives. And so as much as we can have those kids and Brent's kids and Abe's kids at the field and Tuckett's kids, man, it might feel like the romper room sometimes, but man, we want them around. I think that's awesome. They get to be here, and they walk in like they own the place. They tell our players what they think, and sometimes I got to rein him in a little bit, but they're excited. They think the big office is pretty cool. They can lay on the couch with their feet up, and so that part's pretty fun.
Yeah, more power to them.
Yeah,
that's living the dream.
It really is living the dream. And for you, been an assistant for a long, long time. You get thrown in right in the middle of the season. Now you got an off season to kind of think about this and get ready. What's this opportunity mean to you to be the head baseball coach at BYU now?
Well, it's something I always dreamed of. It's something that, man, since I started coaching, I've been, trying to prepare myself to be a head coach since we started. I love being an assistant. I love doing that, but at the same time, it's a great opportunity. And, and I feel like I'm ready for it. There's days that I wonder, I think like we all do, but man, just full steam ahead. And I just, I have great people around me to support me. And that's the biggest thing, is just knowing that. And man, we'll put some stamp on things and do some things that I've always wanted to do. So, man, we're real excited about it.
Well, we're looking forward to a full spring of BYU baseball on BYU TV for all the world to see. And at Miller Park on a Friday night when it's not cold, let's say when it's like 75 on a Friday night.
Hey, we'll take 55.
Or 55. That place is tough to beat.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome venue. I think sometimes we take it for granted. You look up there, and we bring recruits in. They're like, man, this place is beautiful. And you kind of sit back and you're like, it really is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good for us to step back and realize how blessed we are to be at this university and have the facilities and the place we live.
All right, you ready for 5 quick questions?
Yep, this is rapid fire 5 questions.
All right.
Favorite sports movie?
Sandlot.
Oh, see, I was thinking, what's he going to pick for a baseball movie?
That was on the other day.
That's one of the greatest movies of all time, period. I love it.
To stop and watch
I'll watch it anytime it comes on. I'll never turn it around.
So
that's right. That is
sometimes when we're trying to do a show and I'm like, come on, Dave, you can hurry up. My clothes are going out of style.
So that movie is quoted about as much as certainly any baseball movie that's been made. Or it's right up there with all the sports movies. You can, once you get going with, and we just had Eric Waite from Singapore chime in, you're killing me,
Smalls, right? Like
I blame myself. I use that line all the time after, they tried to get the ball from the big dog's backyard, and it is a classic.
And James Earl Jones. I mean, it's just.
All right, so Sandlot, that's a great choice.
Okay, that's a great choice. Okay, favorite singer or band?
James Taylor.
That's old school.
Man, that's good stuff.
Yeah, I grew up kind of.
Wait,
stuff.
Didn't he just sing at the White House today?
I don't know.
I think he did.
I don't know.
I think he's doing something today.
Favorite breakfast cereal?
Man, Cocoa Pebbles.
You know what? Your street cred just went up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, listen, my parents, we never had sugared cereal growing up until like we left the house. And so once I got sugared cereal in my mouth, it was over.
Can I just tell you, the people that come on this show, we've had a lot of people on this show, and they throw out some healthy cereal, very disappointing, because we know two things. First of all, there's something wrong with them, and secondly, they're probably lying.
Brian Keel said cinnamon, no, just Life, not even cinnamon.
Life cereal.
Life cereal.
You mean cinnamon Life, right? And Brian Keel's like, no, regular Life. And we're going, come on, Keel.
Cocoa Pebbles. The thing with Cocoa Pebbles is you put the milk on, you've got to eat them right away.
It's chocolate milk.
Yeah. You get chocolate milk when you're done.
They get soggy super fast.
That's legit.
Fruity Pebbles are all right,
That's legit. Okay. Favorite time of day?
Morning.
Morning. You're a morning person.
Morning person with
I've
Cocoa
always
Pebbles.
been that way. I like getting up. I don't sleep in very good.
You know, all your games are late at night. So you have to adjust the whole mindset.
For sure.
And by the way,
I'm good when the lights come on, the stars come out, right?
That's right.
And by the way, in the morning is when I see Brett and Tuck at the gym early in the morning. Yeah. So that's when they're there.
Well, that's when it's quiet at my house. If I get real early, there's no noise.
Think about this one. This one isn't as easy as that one.
Yeah. Favorite ballpark.
What's the Giants stadium called now? It changes names all the time.
Was AT&T Park? I don't know what it is anymore.
That was Pac Bell. What is it now?
I don't know what it is. Is it not AT&T?
Is it AT&T now? Because it was Oracle. Maybe it is Oracle.
Maybe it is Oracle.
But you love that stadium right on the bay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Yeah.
Hey,
I haven't been to a ton of big league stadiums.
Our good friend Yvette Nacer just sang the national anthem for the Giants game last night. She was awesome. Yeah. Giants, so my daughter and her friend sang the national anthem for the Dodgers game last week or 2 weeks ago.
How did you pick that over Wrigley Field?
I've never been to Wrigley.
No kidding.
Dave's a huge Cubs fan.
Michael Rucker hasn't got you back to a game?
No. My little boy Brooks is a huge Giants fan, and luckily I've been to that park like 3 times. When we played in Barry, we stayed and gone, and me and Brooks went back to a game late this summer. There's just something about that park. I don't know.
It is. What about Fenway? Have you been to Fenway?
No.
Oh,
you got to get out.
You're the head baseball coach. Fenway is. We got to get you to Fenway because that's something special. We walked in. My number in college was 16. We walked in, and we walked down. Our friend got us tickets, and I go, "Look, honey, we're in row 16, just like a number." And then we sat down, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, honey, you're in seat 16." I'm like, "Are we in section 16?" She goes, "We're in section 16." Then I look down, and the Red Sox batter is coming up to bat, number 16. I go, if 16 hits a home run right now, this is the craziest thing ever. And he jacked one out right center. And I was like, we sat in seat 16, row 16, section 16. 16 walks up to the plate and hits a home run. I'm like, we're supposed to remember this moment.
He's never been the same, Coach. He's never been
the same. You should have gone and put everything on green.
I should have done it. I should have done something. Can you believe that? But Fenway, what an unbelievable. We got to get you to Fenway, Coach. Come on.
The thing is, I played on the Cape for 2 summers and never went to a game at Fenway.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
I haven't gotten over the not being at Wrigley, and your pitcher is pitching for the Cubs. So let's try and do that next summer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Coach. Hey, thanks for joining our show tonight, and we'll have you back. We'll welcome you back anytime, but certainly as the boys get ready to play and we roll out another season on BYU TV of Cougar baseball at Miller Park, we look forward to it.
Yeah, thanks for you guys. All you guys do, I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Hey, before we go, what's your key to what does the football team need to do?
Yeah.
Give us 3 keys for the game
win
Saturday.
against the Ducks Saturday.
3 keys, man. 1, always stop the run.
There you go.
Get our running game going.
Stop, run, start, run.
Yep.
Score touchdowns in the red zone.
Okay, no settling for field goals. I like this.
We need touchdowns. Touchdowns win games, don't they?
They do on the road. They do on the road.
That's good advice.
Coach, have a great night. Say hi to your family. Give Tug our best, would you?
I will. I appreciate you guys.
Right, thanks,
Coach.
See you.
Trent Pratt getting ready for his full season as the head coach at BYU baseball, and again we'll have him back as we get into baseball season. But we wanted to get him on and chat with him. And as they just started practice for fall practice. They'll actually play some fall games over there at Miller Park. It's always baseball season, or so it seems, until there's like a foot of snow.
Eric Wright says, what, a head baseball coach who hasn't been to Fenway or Wrigley? Can that be true?
It was true.
I feel bad. I feel like we need to maybe get with Trent and organize a golf trip or something, go back and see Fenway.
I'm gonna text Michael Rucker and say, hey, how about you get the coach?
Get your coach a ticket, yeah.
Wrigley Field.